What's up? Welcome to the Assistant Coaches Lounge here on the Chat It Up Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host and the hitting coach for the University of North Alabama softball program, Greg Larnard. And on this edition of the show, we've got a very special guest. She is a very good friend of mine. She is the player development coordinator for the University of Alabama. She was a former player with the Crimson Tide from 2011 to 2014, which of course included a national championship, no big deal, in 2012. And she also is a D1 JUCO national champion as well with Florida Southwestern, where she got the unique opportunity to coach with her dad, Robert, and Robert being the unique one in this instance because I've got a chance to meet him in Vegas, and he is very, I think if we're putting it nicely, unique. He's a great human being. Love you, Robert. And she's hailing from Naples, Florida. Give it up for Ryan Iamurri right here on the Assistant Coaches Lounge. Ryan, what's going on?
How we doing? Thank you for having me.
I'm glad that we actually could do this without technical difficulties this time, because the first time we tried to record this thing it's probably a month ago or so at this point, it didn't come to fruition. So I'm glad we've got those figured out. You got your laptop sorted. The lighting is okay, and we're ready to go.
Good enough.
All right, so let's start by talking about you. I want to know a little bit more about you, or let the audience know a little bit more about you and your background. Talk to me about your time growing up in Florida. How did you get into playing softball? And other than softball, did you play any other sports?
My dad coached Little League since he was 17 years old. So by the time he had me in 1992, I know, I was just grew up around it. He won 13 Little League World Series titles, and then he won 10 state championships. So I was just around softball all the time. I'm an only child. I went to the field with him. I played as much with the older girls as I could when I was growing up. He gave me the initials RBI. He wanted to name me Ruth Babe, but thankfully my mom said no. So they settled on Ryan Beth. But RBI are my initials. Therefore, I think I had to play softball. But I'm glad that was the sport that I grew up around, because I loved it. Yep, still do, obviously.
Of course, obviously, you're still in it. And so you didn't play any other sports growing up?
Oh, no, I played soccer growing up. I played golf. My dad wanted me to play a single sport, or a solo sport. So he had me golf. I remember he gave me clubs at 10 years old, and I hated it. I didn't want to do it. And then freshman year of high school, there was nobody on the golf team. So me and 5 other softball players went out, and bless our golf coach in high school. She was amazing and loved us and gave us free golf lessons at Tiburon in Naples, Florida. So we got very lucky. So anyway, golf righty, hit softball lefty, so it wouldn't mess up my swing. But I loved playing multiple sports. I think, it's just good to take time off of your sport, your main sport, and, just body and athleticism teaches you stuff. That's why I played soccer too. That was the sport I just would run and try to run into people. I was a defender. So,
a little wrecking ball out there, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then softball was more of the skill sport that I actually wanted to play eventually in college. But yeah, multiple sports, big advocate for it. Yeah.
So you were a slapper, correct?
I mean, your girl could hit too, okay?
I'm just saying, you were a slapper.
But yes, I could do both. I could do both. I could hit.
So I only ask because a lot of the slappers generally start as right-handed hitters and then are converted over to left-handed hitters. Was it that way for you, or were you always a left-handed hitter?
Cue the video of me at my 1-year-old birthday opening up a bat and my dad putting it left-handed in me and said, we're going to be a lefty. So no, I don't know if he had the hunch I wouldn't be very tall and strong and powerful.
I don't know where he would get that hunch.
So I'm very glad he made me a lefty. I cannot swing a bat right-handed. It is ugly, and you definitely don't want to see that. So lefty all the way.
I'm going to have to talk to one of the other coaches, maybe get Murph to kind of do a little backwards softball with the coaches and see if we can get a video of that, because that would be great.
Oh, okay. We'll show that.
All right, so growing up, obviously, your dad had a huge influence on you getting into softball and things along those lines. Was there anybody else? Were there any other coaches or mentors or teammates even that sort of influenced you into continuing to play such softball at a high level?
I definitely would say, I mean, my dad was from 2 years old to 18 until he turned me over to college, but, my uncle was in it, and, my granddad, so my dad's dad actually started Little League in Naples, so I had it all in the men of the Iamurri family. So if I didn't have a bad game, I heard it from multiple people because I was the only one really playing at a high level. So when I used to come home, if my granddad's car was in the driveway, I knew I was gonna have some fun talking to. So um, yeah, there was multiple, and there were no boys in our family, so it was all about softball all the time. Other than that, our high school coaches were great all throughout, and then yeah, before I got here, and then obviously Coach Murphy's been my biggest influence since, with the coaching stuff and
Now,
getting back into it.
still growing up, having your dad, your uncle, and your granddad being such influences in your life, how do you think that relationship and that bond and the way that they interacted with you and treated you and sort of raised you, how do you think that shaped the person you are today?
So, a funny story, my, freshman year of high school, one time, I get to the field I can't remember what happened. I just remember getting in the dugout mid-game and my dad just, like, yelling at me about something with my helmet. I don't even know what it was. And then later, we get in the car on the way home, and I'm mad, of course. I'm like, "You yelled at me in front of everyone," and I was a freshman on varsity, right? And he's like, "Hey, I meant to tell you this. I was gonna just be really hard on you in front of everybody else so that they get it that, like, I'm not gonna just play favorites because 'cause you're my kid." I was like, "Well, could you have told me that ahead of time?" Or, no. My dad built or raised a very strong and opinionated, daughter, so when he would call certain plays or whatever, I had a coach's brain just like him, and I would question or I would say like, "Well, why don't we?" And he would just give me one look that was like, "We can talk about this later. Do not do this in front of everyone." And, there were times, growing up, I would get sent to the dugout to watch practice because I could not, do what I was told and things like that. So, yeah, I was definitely coached very hard. But obviously looking back, like, especially nowadays when you hear about like daddy ball and coach, I was like, it was never a thing for me. I was definitely coached harder and pulled when I wasn't playing well. And um, it was looking back, great shaping. And sorry to my poor mother who had to, we'd come home and she knew how practice went. Yeah.
It's hilarious. We love those family dynamics.
Yeah.
Now, while you were in high school, what was the recruiting process like for you? Obviously, you went to Alabama. So, talk to me a little bit about playing travel ball and playing high school ball and just your experience getting recruited and how much different it was then to how it is now. Obviously, you being a college coach and dealing with the recruiting process some as well.
I have a very interesting recruiting story, actually. So
Okay, let's sit back and let's listen. Go
for
ahead.
those who don't know, I'm a 4'10", second baseman. I don't have the arm for the left side of the field. I was above average speed, but for a lefty slapper, I was not fast enough in comparison to what lefties are supposed to be. I was just a gamer. Like, I just loved to play. I was smart. Like, I took my, softball IQ and was able to use that, to help me make better decisions and just be a better player. But what happened to me was in 8th grade, at that point, our high school team kinda had a travel team that my dad coached, and we were getting to the point where there was me and Jackie Traina, if anybody's ever heard of her, 2012 national champion pitcher for Alabama. We grew up together, so we played together since we were 5.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it was awesome, but what happened was is in 8th grade, it was kinda like, "All right, the 2 of us kinda need to join something less local and more travel ball." So, we joined, Team North Florida, and I made the team, and I definitely was, like, 11th, 12th, 13th best on that team. Like, I was finally around people who were a lot better than me, and we played that was back when we didn't have, like, round robin tournaments, we actually, like, tried to win the tournament, so, for the next, 2 or 3 years, I stayed with this team and got better and ended up, playing second base and batting usually 5th or 2nd, one of those 2, and, then the coaches started coming around and watching, and at that point, it was probably sophomore year, and everybody came to watch Jackie and then the Fagan sisters who, they're all coaching now, with Liberty, but, um, we had a really good team. I think 11 out of 12 of us ended up playing, at the World Series by the time we got to college. So we had girls going to Florida State and whatever, and then here's me, this little 4'10" kid who's, like, just, like, not thinking I'll play at that level, and luckily, I was on a team where everybody came to watch the big studs. So, I went on Jackie Trina's visit to Alabama. My dad took her and I. This was an unofficial. We played kickball under the lights. We got to meet the whole team. We're walking in the clubhouse. They're just amazing speeches and all about culture. And they knew who I was. Like they hugged me, like I was, like they knew my name. Like, it was
Yeah, like you
anyway.
were somebody.
So we get done, and obviously they want Jackie, and I actually got asked on that visit if I played softball, not by the coaches, but by like a player, and I was like, yes, I do. But anyway, here's what happens. So we sit and we hear all these girls talk, and it's amazing, and I am just like in awe. And Coach Murphy says, Jackie, like, do you have anything you want to say? Like that was a great night. Like, and she's like, no, I'm good. No questions. Thank you. Thank you for having me, whatever. And I go like this, like raise my hand. Yeah.
I've got a
And
question, sir, please.
yeah. And Murph's like, yeah, go ahead, Ryan. And I was like, I don't know what she's gonna do, but I would be the water girl here. I was like, I loved everything you said. I can feel it. I was like, I would be the water girl here. Like, whatever you would need. Like I would love to be. And everybody was like, oh, how cute, like what, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
we leave, and obviously it was just my way of saying thank you. And yeah, so we end up playing the rest of that summer. Jackie commits to Alabama, which is awesome. And obviously, Alabama continues to watch Jackie over the summer because they want to keep her committed and stuff like
Yep.
that. And I played so well every time they came and watched. I was hitting doubles to the wall and stealing bases and all that. And I'm like waving at Murph because, like, I'm never going to play at Alabama. Why am I nervous? Like, I'm not nervous to play
Exactly.
in front of them. Like, they're great. And I was probably a week away from committing to Jacksonville State. I loved Coach McGinnis. I loved my visit there. They made me feel super special, and I was like, all right, like this is probably where I'm going to go. And a week before that happened, I get a call from my dad, and he says, write this number down. It's a 205 number. And I'm like, I'm not calling a number I don't know. So Jackie had like the first iPhone because, we're in like archaic years here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we type in like 205 and it says Tuscaloosa. And I was like, why am I calling a Tuscaloosa number? So I call my dad back. And I'm like, I'm not calling this number. Tell me who it is. Whatever. He's like, call the number and just know you can say yes. And I was like, so I call, and it's Coach Allison Habits, who's now at Lafayette. And it was like the best phone call ever. She was just like, hey, like a position came available on our roster. Like, if you want it, like it's yours. All we have is books. Like, that's all we have for you, and I think I said something like, oh, okay, let me call my mom. But like, anyway, my dad was like, yes, you can say yes. So I, as amazing as that ended up being, and obviously, like, I have 4-year career here. We win 3 SEC championships. I meet my best friends. I now coach here. Like, all of that happens potentially because I just raised my little hand and said, like, how impactful it was, but it was everything that I thought it would be, and yeah, I ended up here, and I knew when I signed on at Alabama that I was gonna have to work really hard to play, but I wanted somewhere that would raise me up. Like, I wanted to be a part of something bigger than me. I wanted to win. I wanted to compete at that level. I wanted to go to the World Series, all that. And if that meant less playing time for me, like, I was okay with that. And I don't think that's for everyone. And I'm okay with that too. Like, if playing is your number one goal, then go where you know you're going to play. But I ended up getting to play a lot. So I did get to experience kind of both sides of it. But best decision. Obviously, it's clearly affected the rest of my life, so I'm pretty happy. That was a very long story, but
Hey, we love long stories. This
okay.
is your time.
Hopefully, it was somewhat entertaining.
It was like that's so cool that you just I mean, how there's been so many stories like you've heard about that where like the player that ends up getting recruited and has an impact on a program isn't the initial person that they were looking at and recruiting, and that's such a cool story that you had an actual success story and you've been able to not only carry it over as a really impactful part of the team as a player, but also now as a part of the coaching staff and player development and getting a chance to help the next generation of players
For
learn
sure.
what it's like to play in this culture and to help get them ready and prepared not only for softball at the SEC level, which is the highest level, but also in life. And like to me as a coach, like that's the most impactful thing that we can do as coaches to these players is help them get better and learn how to deal with life and do life hopefully better than when they started there with us.
I love that you said that because people always say like, "Oh, your playing years are gonna be like the best years of your life, and you're never gonna," but I just love my job right now. Like, it giving back to them and, like, "Gosh, I've been in your shoes, I get it," or, like, to the girl who's not starting, but, like, "It's gonna happen, just keep working," like,
Yeah.
you just feel so good, and then they graduate. Like, I'm now in year 5, so I've seen girls actually, like, get through 4 years, and that's been so cool. Like, our seniors this year, we have 4 of them who were 4-year players. And I think about like I'm looking at our freshmen now and I'm like, man, I know what 4 years can do for you, like here. And I love being a part of that. It's especially this level because man, it will kick you down. But gosh, when you make it through and when you get to celebrate or you hit the walk off or like this is so silly, but we had a I feel like funny saying this, but we had a pitcher working on a certain play that's been
Mhm.
difficult for her. So she asks after practice, "Can you hit me 10 balls this side, whatever?" She makes the play in the game, right? And like her and I know that that was like a big deal, but like to everybody else, they have no idea. And when you're in the dugout, gosh, like you know everything every kid's working on. And like if they take a pitch that they've been working on, not swinging at, oh, like it's all those little things that are just so enjoyable. And
Mhm.
I don't have the stress of being in the box anymore, you know? I
Exactly. Yes. I was not nearly as good as any you or anybody that I'm coaching now, and I will
Yeah,
tell them that. But
yeah,
yes, the stress is there, but it's just different there. You
yeah.
know, like for me specifically as the hitting coach, like there's obviously stress to make sure that they're prepared and they're ready from scouting reports to practice to
Mhm,
mechanics to approach to like you said, you know, taking pitches that they shouldn't swing at, and that's like a constant battle and you have to
mhm.
remind them of a lot of different things. But you're so right. Like those little things within the game. Like there's this one girl who's our four hitter, and we've been working really hard to like have her take the ball the other way. And she did it a couple of times this past week, and we were so excited. You know, she hit so much better this week than she did the previous week. So
Yeah.
it's those small wins as a coach that means so much. But before we get too deep into you coaching, I wanted to kind of just continue to talk a little bit about your experience as a player and being in Alabama and just talk about the culture and the expectations walking into playing at a really high level SEC school like Alabama and what that was like and if you were intimidated or if it was stressful or what it was like and how you experienced it.
You know what's funny is girls come in now and they have all these expectations and these rankings and these preseason awards and what like, that is just it's something I never had to deal with. So when I think about my experience and why it's a little unique, it's like I was never supposed to be some amazing, like 4-time All-American, right? So like I got to play every day like for fun. Like I was just trying to like I was playing the game I love. I just it was great. My roommate and, Murph, now that I'm in this, I understand he does this stuff on purpose. My roommate was an All-American second baseman that we got like paired together. Ended up being a roommate for 4 years. Like I knew every day at practice she was going to be better than me. She just was. Like and that's part of being a coach's kid. Like I have a good, like I know like where I stand and stuff like that. But man, did I try my best to push her every single day, or I would dive for balls. And we didn't play the same way. Like she was very like way more like even, and her name's Kayla Hunt. She's a stud. Like look her up, All American. Great. But I every day was like, I'm gonna make her better. I'm gonna make her not be able to take a day off kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I did, and that it was fun, and, like, she enjoyed it, and then, like, our lefties, like, slappers, like, I was really, really good at placing the ball. Like, I knew how to hit up the middle, I knew how to hit the 5-6 hole, I knew how to whatever it was. So, like, I'm sitting there, and I'm helping Haley McClenny, and I'm helping Kayla Bro, and, like, we're just challenging each other every day. Like, it was more just, like, I loved practice. Like, I loved being around, uh, the game. Like I was, I think, like a culture kid. Like I was a kid who I was just gonna try to make us better. I hated losing. So I tried to make mini competitions every day in practice. Like whoever's in my group, like we were gonna compete that day.
Yeah.
And then when it came time to come in, like I was ready and prepared. And I got to hit almost every game. I got pinch hitting opportunities every single game. And then at some point I was got to DP for a little bit, which is funny that you have a 4'10" DP, but hey, if you can hit, you can hit.
You can hit, you can hit. Doesn't matter how big you are. That's the great thing about
And
baseball.
yeah, and then my senior year, it's really funny. I actually took on a very strange role of like pinch bunting. So I came in, I don't even know how many I probably had, but every time, like late in the game, sixth or seventh, maybe fifth inning, someone came up, we got a runner at first. He would look to the circle, be like, bunting, maybe not that girl's thing. I would come in, lay a bunt down, get my high fives, get out. We'd score that run. And I'm like, all right, now I'm a pinch bunt. Like, whatever it is, I don't care. I want to win.
Yeah.
I would get an at bat, sixth or seventh inning leadoff if we weren't hitting the pitcher very well. Like I got to come in, and that was kind of nice because I'm a studier of the game, so I kind of had an idea of what she was throwing, or I would put myself in the lefty's shoes and be like, all right, she's attacking every lefty, first pitch, outside corner. Like I'm just gonna go, and it was great. Like I loved that role, and I think after my junior year, I think I hit like 375, and I sat on the couch and I just asked the coaches. I was like, I don't understand. Like, what more can I do? What more can I do? And he looked at me and he was like, like to start. And he was like, if I start you, I don't have anyone to go to. Like he made me. He like built up this very specific role for me that made me feel so important. Kind of like the what is 6 man on basketball, or
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
comes in that can nail the free throw. Like, and all of a sudden my senior year, I was like, heck yeah, like this is my job. And once I learned that and knew that, then every day was even better because I knew where I stood and what my role was. And I realized how important it could be coming off the bench than it was when you look to your bench and you don't like, you're like, I don't know who to go. Like it was me, and I was gonna make sure it was me.
Yeah.
Uh and then yeah,
See,
like
I feel like a lot of kids nowadays don't have that mindset that you had of like, I'm going to do whatever I can at practice, one, to push the person in front of me to be their very best. And two, hey, if I'm not starting, I'm going to embrace my role, whether it's a pinch hitter, pitch bunter, pitch runner, like anything like that. I may not be starting. And I just looked it up. You started only 10 games your senior year and played in 35 of them.
yeah, well, we're missing. I did have I tore my ACL my senior year. So well, no, that I was out for a little bit, and then I was like, this is my senior year. So I strapped a brace on and then got it done, yes. But
Mhm.
yeah, like I got to have that role, and it was great. And this is I'd love to talk about this. I know it's not me; it's about coaching now, but um, I was we had that. The first 4 weeks of season are now done, and this year, and we had some players who just they want to play, like they want to start so bad, and I get it. Like you don't, I want people who want to play. I wanted to play. Like I want people who want to play. So that's not a flaw. Um, some people they've never, they don't know how to help a team win when they're not playing. So we have to teach those things. And they have to understand those things. And but here's what I was gonna say: when we give people opportunities that are not starting, so we give them an opportunity to pinch hit or like maybe a midweek and they get the game. They're so worried about doing well that they're thinking about, okay, if I don't get this hit or if I don't whatever this at bat, then I'm not going to play again, and then I'm not going to get another pinch hit till what they're forgetting to play. Like,
Yeah.
and I was talking with someone about this, and they're like, "Were you ever nervous, or were you ever whatever?" Because I pinch hit all the time, and I was like, "No," because I finally got to play. So I'm trying to get people to understand that don't you're worried about playing in the future that you're forgetting to play right now. Like, just play softball. Like, if your name's in the lineup that day, yay, you get to play. If Murph looks to the dugout and was like, "Hey, you're hitting," like, instead of being like panicking about my batting gloves and whatever, and what's this girl throwing? It's like, "Hey, I get to play. Like, just go play. That's what's fun." So just trying to remind him of that stuff, and being as prepared as possible, right? Like, I don't care. I don't care if they get the hit or not. I care if they put themselves in the best, most advantageous position for them to succeed. That's it. Did you work really hard this week? Did you prepare? Did you watch film as much as you needed, kind of
Yeah.
thing? Were you paying attention in the game? If you controlled all the controllables, then great. You might get a hit. You also might not. But you've got to know that I did everything I could to get to be successful, and that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, and it's not, and I'll tell all of our hitters that it's your goal when you step into the batter's box should not be to get a hit. It should be to hit the ball hard and have a good competitive at bat.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Like you just said, you can only control what you can control, and you can't control yourself getting a hit. You might
And
hit a screamer right at the center fielder and she catches it. You might hit
mhm.
a blooper down the left field line and get a double out of it.
And stats lie sometimes,
They
that's
do.
why it's so important to track things like quality at bats, and I know people that's a some people hate that and whatever. I'm just I wanna know, like, if you get out, does the pitcher remember you? Like, can I remember your at bat because it was tough, like, it was tough for that pitcher. That matters. Um, and hopefully those lead to more hits, which is what we actually do need in the end. But, if we are just living and dying on if, it shows 2 for 3 in the score box, then it's a tough game to play,
Yeah.
especially, if you have a little stretch there where you don't get the hits.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to continue and to keep going and whatnot. You have to find things to be excited about, and you have to find a way to help your team be better. I just want to ask real quick because I was kind of in your shoes as well, where like I wasn't a full time starter when I played. I was more of a bench player, a culture person, somebody who would, like you said, practice really hard because the people in front of me were much better. Well, I mean, not much better, but better than I
Yeah, not
was.
much. Okay.
Yes, no, they were better. Not, I was talking about me, not you. I was talking about
No,
me.
I'm kidding. I
Yeah,
feel it.
yeah, no. But I just want to, for anybody listening to this that either has a daughter who is in your role where maybe they were used to playing in travel ball in high school and then they get to college and they're not playing right now, or maybe it's a player that was in your shoes or either of our shoes. What can you give them some advice or like a little piece of your mentality of like kind of really diving into that role of going from playing all the time to like not playing that much and really embracing a role off the bench?
So, I have so much on this, yes.
Come on.
I think I think one, it's important. I don't. I don't think parents have the whole story always, right? So your daughter and your player don't they're not if they're not giving you the whole non-bias point of view of practice, right? Then they just don't know everything. My second thing is I always want them to ask us, not the parents. I mean, if they gotta ask too. But I would love a player to ask, "Hey, what are you seeing out of me? What do I need to get better at? Where, when you're making the decision between this one and like, what am I missing?" And we'll have those honest conversations that we see. And sometimes they can only do what's in their control, right? So the next thing we ask is at the end of a game, did you help us win today? Right? Like we won. We're 20-0. Have you helped us win all 20 games? And what's that look like? I might have to cheer my ass off this game. That might just be what I have to do. I might need to run out and catch the pitcher in between innings because our catcher's still getting her shin guards on. I might have to warm up in the bullpen for 3 straight innings because I think I'm going in and then I never go in, right? Like, how can I help us win, right? And it might not be this crazy uh, me pinch hitting and actually getting the hit or whatever. It might be those things. It might be someone just got out twice and I go sit next to her on the bench. I'm like, you got her. Like I'm watching your at bats all like you're just missing the ball. Like just being a good teammate. Um, Getting fired up. If anybody thinks energy in the dugout does not affect a game, you are wrong. Like it's the greatest shift of momentum sometimes. And my thing is like, and what I want our dugout to be is if like if we take a pitch and it was a strike, but we knew we didn't want to hit it, like the whole dugout knows that. It's just being like invested into the game.
Yeah.
So I don't think parents see that. Like they don't know that. They don't see that. It's a really hard thing to see. So I try my best when they are doing things right and they are working really, really hard. I try to talk to some of them and say those things. Hey, listen to what um, a great example is Jocelyn Brisky, our pitcher. She was on a limited pitch count for a couple. She didn't play the first weekend and then was on a limited pitch count. And we have two freshman pitchers who one threw a perfect game and the other one, beat Florida State. And I'm just looking at her and she was the best teammate in the dugout. She wanted it so bad for them. That perfect game, she was like, if anybody says anything about someone getting hit, like she was in it and invested. And like, she's the junior pitcher who like wants the ball, right?
Yeah.
And, her dad is amazing, but I saw him after the game and this is before she had pitched and she ended up pitching the next night and doing great. But I went up to him and I was like, your daughter has been such a great leader for them, like a great cheerleader. She's ready. Like when it's her time, like just watch out because she's been awesome, And like you see his face, he's like that's my girl, And it's if kids aren't going to brag to their parents that they're really good cheerleaders or that they're really good big sister, or like they're not going to do that. So um I think it's important for parents to understand and maybe they can pick up on those little things like, hey, did you help? Are you working hard? Like tell me what you're working on. But also like we have a big saying, Mudita, in our clubhouse, right? So it's can you be as happy for someone else's success as if it were your own? But we really try to instill that in the parents too. It's like, hey, Mr. So and so, can you be just as happy for that girl playing second base as you are if it were your daughter? Like,
Yeah.
and once we've hit that, then we're in really good shape. But
Yeah.
yeah, advice wise, it's ask what they need to get better at, right? Like we're all on this 4-year development plan. And just finding ways to help the team win every day, whatever it looks like. It could be so small. Yeah.
And that's what, like you said, that's what a lot of people don't see. And I think parents sometimes can get blinders on where they don't see those things. They don't see the little things, whether it's at practice or in a game by, like you said, warming up a pitcher or going to the bullpen and warming up just in case. Or I tell our girls that are potential pinch hitters, like, pay attention to the game, figure out like, okay, this might be an opportunity where I might be getting up, mentally prepare yourself. Like, so
Mhm.
you're paying attention throughout the game of how this girl's working hitters and maybe what she's throwing when the runners in scoring position, or hey, like go take some swings off the tee, like because you think, okay, maybe I'm going to get an opportunity here. Just making sure that you're ready when your opportunity comes. Because
Yeah.
if you stay ready, you'll never have to get prepared.
Yeah, there's a reason there isn't 9 girls on the team. Like,
Exactly.
you need depth, you need differences. We have righty outfielders, we have lefty outfielders, we have speed, we have power, we have people who hit drop ball better, people who hit rise ball better, and, like, our job is to know who is that in our lineup, and their job is to just stay really, really good at the thing they're really good at, right? Like, we say there's no win in comparison, right? Like, we don't need 13 or 13. I mean, I would love 13 Audrey Vandergriffs, but like we don't need, a bunch of her. We need depth and we need differences. And if we start chasing other people's strengths, we lose out on what is our best ability type thing. So it's
Yeah.
kind of honing in on that and like making sure they know what their best thing is. We have one who's got so much power, and just struggles with changeups. And like we're working on that. She's young, like no problem. Like you're where you need to be. We're gonna get you better. But like if we know a girl's gonna throw it that much, like that we're not putting her in a good position for her in that game, right? But now this girl who's throwing, a bunch of different pitches but no changeup, like throw her in there. Like it's kind of just understanding like what you're good at and being ready when it's your time to help our team win. Like
Yeah.
we need your gift today. Can you
Mhm.
give it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I know this is not going to air for a little while, but we had the same conversation at practice before practice today. We were
Mhm.
talking a lot about you have to stay ready. You never know when your opportunity is going to come, whether it's somebody who gets hurt, whether because I'll be honest,
So
we have a lot
true.
of depth. Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know
Yeah,
when
we didn't
somebody.
talk about injury. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's unfortunately that stuff happens. There's unfortunate circumstances that happen in everyday life that maybe pull you away. There's a family emergency. Now somebody's forced into a different role. Like
Yeah.
you just really never know. Okay, before we get to because I really want to dive headfirst into like the whole coaching aspect of it and how you got to Alabama, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the national championship year. If you could just talk a little bit about that, what clicked so well for you guys as a team and what made that such a special group and what was it like to be a part of that? I'm surprised you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, like oh here we go, like I got my rings on.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Um, I could go no.
yeah,
Um,
go get them. Go ahead.
so here is what's cool. So when I went on that visit with Jackie Trina's visit, my unofficial visit.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you play? Do you play? You played softball? You play softball?
yeah, yeah, yes, I do. I'm actually like okay too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No,
actually pretty good.
what the couple girls who spoke were seniors that year. Brittany Rogers was one of them. Charlotte Morgan was a junior, and she taught. It was just good stuff. But the freshmen that year were seniors the year we won the national championship. And why I'm telling you that is because the culture and the like it was all being like made before that 2012 season. Those seniors like that when we won um started as 6 freshmen and they just stuck together and they were a really strong class and they were really cool. I wrote like a blog because blogs were really cool back in
They
2012.
were. Yeah.
Um, kind of highlighting each senior and why they were so different and special. But that class was I mean, we had like a starter, Cassie, who was first base, who was like kind of quiet, very analytical, right? And then you had uh Jazz Lunsford, who was a just crazy energy, diving everywhere. Kendall was the senior behind the plate, and like and then we had Olivia on the bench, who she was the in charge of our wolf pack. So wolf pack was the bench players, right? Like the energy givers.
Yep.
Like, she was the senior leading that, so, like, you think we win without Olivia? Like, we don't. So, point is this class was just special and amazing leaders, but, that team was just undeniably, like, we thought what we had was so special that we could beat anyone, and when I look back on it, I'm like, Oklahoma that year was insanely talented, as they always are, but
Yeah.
they had the player of the year. They have Kehlani Ricketts, Lauren Chamberlain, and Jessica Schultz, Destiny Martin, like, just studs,
The fact
and
that I actually know a couple of those names says is a
we
big deal.
I look at it now and I'm like, "How did we think we had a chance?" And then I'm like, "But we did." Like, we had no we thought what we had was unbeatable, like, with each other. We yeah, just that year was so fun, and, I mean, what specifically? Like, besides our awesome seniors, like, Caleb Rowe was batting leadoff, like, batting, like, 500. No. Um, we won, I think at God, it was, like, midnight by the time because there was rain delay and all that, and
Wow.
the only thing open was IHOP, so we all went to IHOP as a
After you
team.
won?
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
pictures
god.
are great, but
That's
yeah,
fair.
that team, it's so funny, they tell you all the time, like, "You won't remember stats or who like, that you struck out in this game." It's so true, I don't remember anything except winning, dogpiling. I had a little flip cam, those were really cool then.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I filmed us on the bus, like, we didn't
Yeah.
even have phones on the bus. Like, I have the flip cam footage, and we're all just, like, dancing and singing, and there's no phones to be seen because those weren't, like, that big
They
of a
weren't
deal.
that big, yeah.
We didn't have social media. I know, it's crazy. Um,
It's a different world.
yeah, but that was a really I mean, winning the last game of the year is a very weird I remember, like, waking up that morning because we lost game 1 and then won game 2, and so no matter what, like, today was the last day we were gonna play,
Mhm.
right? And
Winner take
I
all.
remember I remember thinking, like, "We'll know tonight, like, we'll know," and that is just a weird, uh, feeling to have, but
Mhm.
it was awesome, and it's so funny because I think about, like, if we didn't win, like, nobody would remember that team, and that team was so special, and it doesn't so like, how many teams are there out there that are so special that just don't,
So
uh
many. There are
yeah,
so many
that's I
teams
mean,
that have
it's so
such
hard
great
yeah,
stories and special chemistry that, by and large, people will forget, but the people that were on
in
that
it
team and around that team and in it, they will always remember how special it was.
for sure, for sure. I'm very glad that we did, but I always it makes me super grateful just because I know winning winning once you get to the World Series is hard. I mean, something's gotta go your way, like, there's it's so tough, but we did it. It's great.
Yeah, you did. So let's talk about transitioning out of playing and into coaching. You made a stop in Yorktown, New York. You went all the way from Naples to Tuscaloosa to Yorktown, New York. You jump into the softball strength academy and you coached at Yorktown High. When did you know that you wanted to be a coach and you wanted to pursue softball as a career? Was there like a light bulb moment that came on for you at all?
You know, everybody when I was in college, Murph used to call me his 6th coach, like, I was, like, always a coach. I never thought I'd be a coach. I don't know why. I had these plans of, graphic design and PR and, like, just that kinda thing, so I moved to New York, work at a, yeah, strength and conditioning facility, basically, that had softball, did all their, like, operations, PR, graphics, whoops, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and, slowly but surely, I end up getting rigged into coaching high school, and I'm coaching a little girls' team, and, like, all of a sudden, I realize, like, I don't know if I can ever get away from it. And then I tried to leave coaching and become a teacher. I taught math, love that, but then here I am, like, helping out at Little League at night and all that. Murph calls, it's like, "Hey, you like teaching?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love it." He's like, "Well, wanna come coach instead?" And, now that I'm in it as a real job, like, I don't know if I can ever not be in it. It's definitely it's hard, like, some days are really, really hard, but man, it's not sometimes it's I don't even think it's a real job. I'm like, I get to just go out on a diamond at 2 p.m. every day and hit fly balls and talk about softball. Um, I made a lot of people happy when I became a college coach, and what I mean by that is just people who were always like, "Why is she not coaching?" And it
Yeah.
just took me a little longer than other people to realize that I should be doing this, so, um,
I
yeah,
think you and
love
I are
it.
that I think you and I are in that same boat.
Exactly, and I don't know why I ever thought I wouldn't, but yeah, I'm doing it, and it's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you go back and coach with Murph, and if I remember correctly, it was as a volunteer, correct?
Yes, first 2 years are volunteer.
Yeah, and that's always a tough gig as someone who did it for 2 seasons, you know.
Yeah, what's funny is when he called, he was like, "I have the volunteer position open," and, I laughed because I was like, "Well, usually you give that to someone you plan to, like, help grow and move to coach another position." I was like, "I don't know if I wanna do that, like, I wanna coach because it's you and it's Alabama, I don't" He's like, "I don't care about that, come on," So I came and
Yeah.
5 years later, I'm still sitting here and they haven't gotten rid of me, but, yeah, so it was funny because I took it even still, like, even taking it then, I was like, "I don't know if it's what I wanna do."
Mhm.
Yeah,
But it was just like divine alignment for you, like, it was where you were meant to be.
pretty
It brought
much.
you back.
Yeah.
Now, what was the biggest adjustment going from being, like, one of the players there at Alabama? I know you'd gone away for a little while, but then coming back where you obviously experienced a lot of success, you were a great player, and then serving in a leadership role as a coach.
I won't lie, I was like, I'm pretty confident as a coach now, like, that I've been in it this long, and when I first came back as the volunteer, I was so nervous. I was like, "Do I even know how to teach hitting? Like, what do they even do now? Like, is everything different? It's been so long?" And, um, it was like I never left. It was Murph, Allie, and Steph, and those were my 3 coaches, and it ended up being, just great. All of it was good. I was definitely, nervous. What's different? I think there's a lot more on athletes' plates now than there was when we were. I do. I mean, time management is a big thing, but I mean, they have I I mean, this NIL world and, just obligations and social media and, like, they need to get if they have more followers, they'll get more visit it's just it's a lot, and people think it's all, like, great and amazing opportunities, which it is, but it with that comes time, and it's just more time that gets divided up into different parts. They have, um like, their dining hall and we have nutrition now and we have, weights, but then we also have, recovery and, like, there's just so many places they need to be all the time, I feel like. So I think that's a little different. I like helping them manage, kinda sorting what we need to get done versus what, is, like, not today type thing. Um The game is different, oh my gosh, softball is insane right
Yeah,
now, the
how is
parity
how is it different compared to when you played?
par the I mean, softball, the talent level across anyone can beat anyone at any given day, I don't care who is playing who. I won't lie, when I played, there were probably 4 or 5 SEC teams we could sweep, like, we I we could, like, we kinda knew. I Not a single one anymore. Like, any given day, anyone's beating anyone, and that's not even counting midweeks,
Yeah,
North Alabama coming soon. It's very softball's just better, athletes are better, they're faster, they're stronger, the pitching is insane, the hitting is better, the film that we have to watch and scout,
true.
um, but I think it's so cool that, you have schools that can take down, the top schools at any on any Tuesday night if they feel like it.
And it's kind of crazy coming from you, from somebody who is at a top level school,
Oh,
that, like,
yeah.
you have the appreciation for that now,
The
that there is a
respect
lot
is
more.
there.
Yes.
Trust me, Alabama respects whoever walks through those gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. I mean, shoot, we played St. Thomas this weekend and their ace, she is very good. She was great. And we knew that. We knew that going in. But then she lived up to that and it was tough for us. It was really good preparation for us for seeing the same picture twice, like when we are about to start SEC play. But yeah, like you got just good athletes all over the country now. And I don't know if development's better. I don't know if softball's just grown in general. But
I think it's
or
probably a combination of both,
yeah,
honestly. Like
or
it's softball is growing in such a big way. Like it's so great to see like professional leagues like surviving and thriving now, and the way that they've partnered with Major League Baseball and they're promoting these professional softball players and having them go to spring training and doing interviews and interacting with Major League players. And then the AUSL is like exploding. It's so big nowadays. They played a game or a couple games down at Tuscaloosa last year, right?
and like so many young girls who graduate getting into coaching, like helping that
Yes.
way. I think about too when I played, we had 3 coaches. We had a pitching coach, we had Allie, and we had Murph, and that was it. And Allie would be in the cages, and Murph would be throwing BP, and then we'd have a shag group, right? And then a base running group. So like you hit twice during practice. You hit like 15 balls on live and then like 15 minutes in the cage. That's all we did. And now we have a staff of 4 plus player development plus managers. We have so many managers who are willing to help in any way they can. So now, we don't have a shag station anymore
Mhm.
because we have people willing to pick up balls, which is incredible. You want to talk about helping a team win, like the unsung heroes of the people who catch bullpens and pick up balls when that can be a station that's taken out of it. Like I forever grateful to that. And I understand as I'm saying this that not every school has that. I do understand that.
And that's why
But
I'm laughing, because I'm literally, you're describing what used to happen for you guys is now what happens for us with just 3 coaches.
yeah, and that's an issue, right? Like that's something that is a luxury that we have that I understand now, just having more voices and more eyes and more like a smaller ratio of player to coach. Like that's going to keep growing the game and making that the addition of that, just the volunteer coach and adding that as a fourth coach, like that's only going to make that has to make a program better. You just helped your ratio out entirely. So, um, yes, we are lucky, and I do know that.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about your role. Going from a volunteer to going into your current role, I believe it is coordinator of player development. That's kind of a unique role. How did you get into that role, and how do you define success in that position?
Yes. So I take the word development very, very much to heart. So when I don't feel like an athlete is getting what they need to get better, or they're not sure of where we see them in a year or 2 year, it weighs on. It's like all I think about every night. It's like, is this girl good? Are we good? Are we good? So I think that position was when it was created. Thank you, baseball. It was more data and analytics, which is funny because I am a math girl, but I am a people person. Like I am a like connections um, are just big for me. So I took it more of the just like the connector of the dots, right? So like, are we getting what we need from nutrition? Are we getting what we need from the weight room? Are we getting what we need from the athletic training room? Are we getting what we need from a hitting standpoint? Are all of these working in our favor to get us stronger, better, become a better player? With that is a lot of goal setting, right? So it's like, tell me your crazy, most wildest dream in college softball. I want to hit 50 home runs. Awesome. How are we gonna do it, right? Like
Yeah.
just just hearing them out, man. Sometimes it's just they just want to talk, and I love that. Like I want to hear all about it. Verbalizing when you're struggling, I think is a real thing. So I try to have a really good pulse on where everyone is at. I will say that our coaching staff does a lot of things well when it comes to that. So Coach Kayla Bro connects in different ways than I do to them. And some of them, like she's more their girl, and some of
Yeah.
them I'm more. And
Yeah.
it's been awesome having her. Because we're different, but we were best friends. But we coach a little differently. So that's been great because there's some who just respond to different people better. And I think that's one of my biggest pieces of advice is to coaching staffs is like to expect one coach to connect with every player is really really hard. And like you're doing hitting there, it's like you how many hitters do you have?
About 20 or so.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we have like 27 players on our roster.
Yeah, like 20 hitters for you to connect with. Like that's really hard to do. Not just from a number standpoint, but from a personality standpoint, right? Like we're not everybody's cup of tea and jive. So one thing that Murph does, which is really cool, is we do a scale of 1 to 5. How connected to each player are you? And what that means is just like if I were to take them on a walk and like we had a heart to heart, like how how good is that? How comfortable do we all feel, right?
Yeah.
And we go through the whole list, and our goal is that every player has at least 1 5, and that 5 might be Murph, that 5 might be Lance, that 5 might be Adam, it might be Bro, it might be me. Someone might have 5 5s, like that's great. But as long as everybody has 1 5 that they like know can reach him when they need to.
So you ask this to the players?
We do it as a staff
Mhm.
ourselves. And
Okay.
then we have asked the players in the past, yes, like, where am I at with you? And they're honest, man. They're like, I'm a 3, and Murph will be like, I'm a 3, like with
Yeah.
you. All right, how can we get that to like a 4?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't need to be
But
besties, but
I like that, and it's been helpful because I don't feel as guilty, like if I'm not a 5 with everyone, right?
yeah.
Like, um, but they do know like doors open, we'll figure it out. Like I never want them to my first year here, and I'll say this, my first year here, 6 people left, and I was gutted because this is my alma mater. This is, and I from then on, I'm like, you know what? I got to do a better job of knowing where they're all at. And I think that's helped a ton. Just asking them, tell me what's going on, and you can tell like players have it written on their face. But
Yep.
um, not that that's all development is, but it's a lot of it. It's just open communication, open door. And then yeah, the other part of it is a little bit of math. I love to keep weird stats, and I like to do a lot of stats when we have assumptions about things. Like last year, this is a good one. Here's an example. Last
Okay.
year, we had 2 sack flies. Like at like 4 weeks in, we had like 2 sack flies. And Murph is like, why do we have 2 sack fly? Like, are we that? What's going on? So I'm like, went back in, and every time a runner was on third, I looked at what happened. We were getting hits.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And I was
shoot,
like,
that's
"Oh,
better than the sack
so much
fly.
more." So it's like it's kinda like just knowing your team and, like, what's a weird stat, but, like, is there any part of that that's relevant? If it's not, no big deal, like, that's learning something too. Um, I love, first pitch outs. I love, meaning, on defense. Um, I like to know, yeah, hard hit balls, like, how many balls are we hitting hard versus, because I think, yeah, that translates to more hits. But I keep all that during the game, and we can kind
So
of see a
you keep that stat. That's not like something you can find on 643 or Synergy or something along those lines.
trend. Not the way I would want to do it. I mean, I'm the one there. Like, I'm the one, like, I can see it
Exactly. Yes.
as
And like
opposed.
you and I talked about last time, it's like synergy sometimes categorizes a specific pitch as something when you clearly watching it, it's something else.
Yeah, I think it's hard to watch a game and know, whereas, when you have your actual eyes on it, it helps. There's also some weird stats, like, I know when we're doing a slap and run or a hit and run, like, and I won't, like, take that at bat against them because, like, that was our at bat as a team.
Yeah.
Like, there's just little things in there that, I have a better, I think, like, view of than just film would. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's part of being a coach is being able to watch the game with your eyes and know something that the stats don't necessarily tell you, or pay attention to something or stat something
Yeah.
that isn't a normal stat like you just talked about.
Yeah. I think my definition of player development is you're the pulse of the team. Like, you got to know the ins and outs of how everyone's doing. Are we getting them where they need to be? And um are we winning in ways that, are we missing something of the big picture kind of thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting question, and this is something that I had kind of come up with. It's not something that you had mentioned or anything along those lines, but what are some of the most common struggles you see elite players dealing with that maybe like a fan or somebody outside the organization or program really wouldn't notice? You just talked about like player development, and it seems like, hey, keeping your finger on the pulse of the team kind of fits with the question I'm asking as well.
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think when anyone struggles, I mean, I'm thinking more offensively, but obviously it can be for pitching too. But when someone struggles, just thinking that, like, they're not trying, like, you know, or they don't see that, like, this girl came 3 days early. She came 3 days in a row early to work on a certain pitch, and then, like, they outside, you're only seeing, the stat or the game or the 0 for 3 or the whatever. And, I wish people understood that they're 20-year-old humans who are going through it sometimes. Um, I don't think, I mean, they definitely don't see what practice looks like every week, right? And, certain balls that are missed, or certain, just, they just don't have the full picture.
Yeah.
And I think that weighs on some players because they don't want to look bad on the outside, and I just would hope people who watch any player struggle, I hope they would understand that I would guess 98% of them are working so hard to get out of that struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably sometimes too hard. They're trying too hard. It's like I always liken it to quicksand. Sometimes the harder you fight and you struggle and you work, sometimes like it's actually doing more harm than good.
Yeah. The other thing too is, like, what kind of teammates they are. Like, nobody knows that. And, like, I think about our senior catcher, Marley, gosh, like, I would run through a wall for her, but she has the best gauge of the team. She's our captain. She does not talk too much. Like, her thing this year was like, I'm gonna take a step back and let leaders around me lead, and I'll step in when needed. Like, she just gets it. Like, all the intangibles off the field are insane, and, like, she's having a great year this year, but, like, they only see the Marley that's ranked whatever 10 from the catcher list as of today, and I'm like, you've been missing out on Marley, the leader and teammate. Like,
Yeah.
that's what makes you fall in love with a player, right? I don't know. They definitely don't see that side of it.
Oh,
Holly Beth is one of our freshman catchers. She is everybody's biggest cheerleader. She's charting every game. She's catching in between innings. She got an at bat this weekend. She came up with the runners at first and second, and she crushed a ball like this much foul, so close, and ended up flying out. But like everybody in the dugout is like on their feet, excited, and like our fans are like, "It's 7-0, like here we go," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"You don't understand, fans! Like
Yeah.
get up! Like this is Holly Beth. Like she gives everything to this team. It's like
Yep.
that stuff. Like people don't get to see all that, which I'm like,
It's
okay, do I want the fans to know that, or is that what makes like a team so sacred?
that's true. That's very
Yeah,
true. I was
yeah.
just gonna say, like, we had a parent that talking about freshmen. We had a freshman have a really good game, hit a home run, get a base hit. Like it was awesome. Her first career home run, first career RBI,
Mhm.
first career, just everything in that game. And the mom shared a message, with the head coach and just talked about like sent a screenshot of like the dugout going crazy for her. And just that's the special moment that you're talking about. It's just like everybody is so happy that this person who worked so hard got an opportunity and took
Yeah,
advantage of it and had success.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
just
just
it is
I don't
very special, and I don't think a lot
being
of people.
poetic though
Yeah, it is.
just gets me going.
Yeah, same. It's amazing. It's what fuels, I think, both of us into continuing to do this and wanting to pour everything that we have into it because of those moments, because of the kids, and because how hard they work and the effort that they put in, and just how good of human beings they are, and us wanting to just be a small part of their journey.
Do
I
you
think that's
think that, like, because I've never wanted to be a head coach, and part of that is because I feel like I'd miss out on the stuff I get to see and do. And I'm not saying there aren't head coaches who can do all this. I'm sure there are. I I love being in the nitty-gritty so much, right? Where, like, I don't have to worry about everything else, like, I can just worry about this girl today? I don't know.
no,
Just things I wonder.
no, I'll be honest with you. I've had that same thought because you and I've had
Yeah.
this conversation off the air, but I would like to be a head coach someday. I would like to run a program and do those things. But that's one thing that I'm really nervous about is that what is your computer dying?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
I got it, I got it, we're
I
good,
know you got it. I just wanted to call
we're
you out
good.
on it.
Oof,
But no,
4%,
that's
but I saved it.
thank you. Good job. Well done.
Yeah.
But no, that's something that very recently I've thought a lot about myself because the part of this job that I really enjoy the most is going and doing individual stuff and having time to, hit with hitters individually and do work, like two or three, with them at a time and being able to have a lot of the same conversations that you mentioned and kind of
Mhm.
having your finger on the pulse of the team and getting a chance to kind of get to know them better as people and having that time to interact. And
Yeah,
I'm nervous that when I get an opportunity to be a head coach and to run a program that I will miss out on those times. But I think when you get into that situation, and honestly, it's kind of something I wrote down. I've been kind of writing down stuff because I do want to actually sit down and talk to Coach Murphy at some point, but like ask him, like, how does he deal with that? How does he juggle that? Because obviously he can't be in the nitty gritty all of the time like we are right now, but I'm sure he finds a way to make those special connections with each of his players.
for sure, yes, and if anyone does it well, it's him. I always wonder, like, it's just more attention has to be on big picture stuff, right? And, um, it's just something I always wonder, like, if that's harder to do. Now he's been a head coach for 30 years, so, like, you know, but for people who've moved from assistant to head, I wonder how much that changes. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm curious about that as well. It's something I constantly think about.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I only have a couple more for you because I know we're already in an hour plus in here, but I thought this was I love this conversation, so I'm not even worried about it. But what's one failure or one or two failures from your playing career or your career now coaching that sort of still shapes how you mentor athletes today?
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
Um, can't can't even remember what year or when. It had to be my junior or senior year. Um, I went in to pinch hit, and I think I got told to bunt. I
Mhm.
missed foul, whatever, ended up striking out. And I go in the dugout and I had just tears, like I had tears in my eyes. And I think I went in the bathroom and was like trying to get it together and whatever. And Allie, assistant coach Allie, who's like our saint, so nice, best coach, all that, comes up to me and I think she's going to be like, hey, it's okay, right? Like,
Mhm.
you tried, you're going through it, whatever. I'm sure I was like, there was other stuff, probably school, and sometimes it just hits you.
Yeah.
Um, she like grabbed my jersey and was like, "You're supposed to be a leader of this team, and you're gonna come in here after one bad at bat, and you're gonna cry." And she, by the way, does not remember doing this because we've had this talk. It was one of the most impactful leadership development trainings of my life because poor, pitiful me, wanted people to feel bad for me. We were probably winning, like, I don't even know. But
Yeah.
point is she was just like, so you went in and had one bad at bat and you're gonna cry. Now you're gonna pull three teammates over to make you feel better when there's a game going on. And it was just this like, yep. And she was right, 100% right.
Mhm.
Um, so uh that was one lesson, which was just like if you're gonna be a good leader, like it's just not about you. Like you gotta find a way to like get over things quickly and then pour. But it's not just that, it's you can't also be someone who's bringing someone into you when they should be giving to the team.
Yeah.
So, it was a really good, moment for me, and, I definitely wanted, her to feel bad for me, and she didn't, and so I don't ask for sympathy anymore. That was one from playing. Um, I don't know about anything from coaching yet. I think just failing in coaching is usually just preparation. Like
Yeah.
we've just had moments where um, I thought we were in a good spot and we just didn't prepare them enough and stuff like that. And I never want anyone to feel surprised as a player or like I want them to know everything that might happen, defensively, offensively, that kind of thing. I take we take pride in that, that they're not shocked when, someone tries to steal third or like they might squeeze or this pitcher has these three pitches, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think our first year we had synergy. It was like this gold mine of information and we 100% overloaded them with way too much information. So I think that was a big coaching learning moment. That was like, hang on, they don't all need the same amount. Some of them need to see the pitcher pitch 5 times. They just want to get a load of her load and movement, and then after that, they're good. We got some who want to know what they're going to throw with 2-0 and understanding that they're all different. Your team is
Yeah.
different and they don't. And what got them there, right? Like why they've been successful. Why are we going to all of a sudden cookie cutter and make them all the same person? So I love that I've been here long enough to have gone through all of that to now have an idea of how we can be successful because as a coach, man, you don't know. You're just trying your best and then, can you look in the mirror and make some changes and then after that, hopefully find something that works and sticks, but not being afraid to try new things, but listen to your players, man. Feedback is good. Feedback is good. Um, hopefully, if you trust them.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It can be good. But no, that was something that you taught me the last time that we spoke was about
Yeah.
synergy. And that was a piece of advice that you gave me as a coach in working with synergy for the first time was, hey, like don't overload them with information. Like just
Yeah,
give them concise stuff. And I think
yeah.
that will help
And
the
if they
best.
want more, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
they'll ask for it. So
yeah,
I have sort of developed my own, way for the hitters to, hey, okay, like we're going to focus on X, Y, and Z for the opposing pitcher, and I'm going to give you this information. And I haven't had anybody say like, oh, I need less or I want more. It seems to have like that's for right now. what they need. So
you're just saying year one, you got it. You're good.
yes, basically I figured this whole thing out.
Yes.
I'm a genius. I'm a synergy genius, basically.
Yes.
No, not I'm far from it. There's many things that I've learned. I'm sure I'm not doing something right, or I'm gonna have to figure something out, or I'm gonna have to do something differently at some point. But that's
Well,
life.
then, yeah, a couple years down the road, you're gonna have a whole different team, and they might need something totally different. Our teams change over time, and
Yeah.
um,
People change, and the
yeah,
culture is different, and just the vibe and the temperature in the room is always different with
yeah. That's
different
why
people.
it's so good you do stuff like this too, where you talk to coaches, because that could be an issue for us sometimes. I feel like we all like bro played at Alabama, I played here, like Adam's been here, so it's like we gotta continue to talk to other people and see what's working and get an idea of, oh, I never thought about that. Like, let's try that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm game for that because man, yeah, years go by fast, and then you realize you're doing the same thing you've been doing for a certain amount of time. I will
Low.
say that's one really cool thing about Murph is he's not afraid to listen, try new things, and he wants us to come up with new ideas. He lets all of us assistants have opinions and ideas, and he'll either say, yeah, we'll try that one and that one today. So that's been really he fosters us as coaches for sure.
Man, that's what a good leader does. And like low key, like that's what I love about doing this show and talking to different people in different places. And especially like right now, since I've just started this, we're kind of focusing on softball because that's the world I'm in. But I would like to expand it to other schools in other sports and things like that too. But just getting a chance to talk to other softball coaches like yourself, it's so meaningful for me. And I'm hoping that anybody who will listen to these conversations, maybe they want to be a softball coach, maybe they are a softball coach, and maybe they hear you say something and they're like, man, like that's a great idea. They're doing that at Alabama. They obviously have had a lot of success under Coach Murphy. Like maybe that's something we try within our program. And then it's just like you don't even know who you've impacted by
Yeah,
just getting a chance to listen to a conversation like this.
just doing great work out here.
We're
Greg.
trying. We're trying. All right, before I ask you a funny question and get into our lightning round to end
Oh
our
no.
talk. Yeah, we've got a lightning round. I've got a funny question. Um, I do want to just ask quickly, and I love to ask this at the end of conversations. If you were talking to, say, there's a young coach or somebody who's thinking about getting into the coaching profession, listening to this, what would you say to them to give them like a piece of advice if they wanted to get into coaching, or maybe they're just getting into coaching?
Getting into coaching like young or out from outside of, like, they're not already in softball.
Let's say either they played baseball or softball and they're just getting into the profession. Maybe they're a volunteer like both of us were, or maybe it's their first paid job like it's mine this season. Like they're young in the career, like they've been in baseball or softball before.
Yeah, I think meeting as many people as possible that are in the sport is number one, and that typically means doing some camps, which I still love to do.
That's how we met.
I know I do it more, yeah, more for meeting new people and talking softball, and like I said, like ideas that I never would have tried or thought about. Um, I think that's a big deal. I think any new coach and young coach should ooh, this might be controversial. I think if they think differently than the coach they're with, they should be willing to challenge them in an appropriate way. But I just don't think we get any better if we all think the same. So if you don't agree, or you're like, well, why'd you do that? I'm obviously, like, this is in an office setting and not on the field in front of people. But I think asking questions on why people do things the way they do matters. And then, yeah, not being afraid to like self scout on your own separately, like if you would have done things differently. I caught our GA softball or our GA, she graduated last year. Um, I was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "I'm scouting the opposing hitters we're gonna face." And I was like, "Okay, like why?" And she's like, "Because I want to compare it to how Lance pitches them." And I'm like, "Cool." Like she the opposite of lazy. Like that's like
Yeah.
we're not going to use that work. However, actually, I mean, we might. Who knows? But point is like she's practicing. Like, okay, now she can say, "Hey, I would have gone down and in here. Why'd you go this?" And that's when the conversation starts. That's when you start getting better and challenging ideas and stuff like that, and developing your own philosophies. So, um, yeah, just uh, talking about softball as much as you can.
We love talking about softball. That's what
Yeah,
this partly what this show is about. At this
yeah.
point, it's talking a whole lot of softball because we've had a lot of softball coaches on. So before we get to the lightning round question, I do have a funny question that I wanted to ask you, and just kind of talk to me a little bit about what kind of bat testing pregame hype playlists you normally jam out to with Tom and Gray.
Oh, that's funny. He'd be so mad at me because I'm usually like scrolling on my phone and he's like, "Look at this song, look at this song."
Gray or Tom?
Great. Um, there's usually some Miley Cyrus in there.
Oh
There's
gosh, Party
always
in
some
the
like
USA.
no, like her like
Oh,
newer,
okay,
edgier stuff.
I
There's
don't
some
even know
like
it.
there's always like some kind of beat drop, because like he'll like throw his hands up and then he's like Ryan, and I'm like, no, here we go. No, I am very lucky. I have a two chauffeurs who bring me to bat testing, Tom and Gray, and it is part of tradition. We will start it again this weekend for opening SEC. So I
Nice.
will. I'll let you know. Maybe I'll comment when this thing comes out of what's on the playlist. But it's a big mystery to me because it starts this week. So I'll let you
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's happened in the past, so
Yeah.
we're just about to jump it off ahead of SEC. But by the time this airs,
Yeah.
SEC play will already be like 2 weekends in, and then the next week you and I are playing each other, and we'll be coming to Tuscaloosa. So this will be coming out just in time.
Who does bat testing for you guys?
I do.
Oh, perfect. We'll just
Yep.
bring the speaker into bat
Yep.
testing.
We'll jam out.
Okay, great.
I got to see my boy Gray. I miss him.
Perfect.
I got to get him on the podcast. Him and I have been talking about doing some sort of a podcast. Like we almost did it at 3 a.m. in Vegas after
What
we were running around the streets and
what
gambling
is
late at night.
Vegas?
It was quite the first experience.
Yes.
All right, let's do a little lightning round. It's just quick, questions and give me quick answers to it. All right.
Yes.
All right. One word that best describes Alabama softball culture. You can use a couple words if you need to.
The cold.
You've been in it as a player. Now you've been in it the last 5 years as a
Yeah.
coach. You've been with Murph for basically 10 years almost.
Okay. I want to do this right because this I want one word and this matters. I'm gonna go with relentless.
Why relentless? I just now I'm curious as to why that would be your choice.
Okay, so this year they are just competitive. They are very competitive, but it's not like like I want to beat this team. It's like we will find a way. I will not, whatever the person before me did, if she got out with a fly ball, I will do whatever I have to do to hit a ground ball. Like they are just like, they just feed off each other in that. Like they want to win so bad that they just won't all make the same mistake. It's just very different in past years. And I say relentless. And I would love to go into being like they're very Mudita and team, which they have that, but like this year is special because they are just like uber focused on like being really good at their jobs, whatever they are. So I'm going relentless because they don't give in, they don't give up. If they have a bad at bat, they get over it. Like they move on quick. It's a very different vibe of Team 30.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love that word, because that's coming into this opportunity at North Alabama. That was one of my biggest things as an offense, is like, our mantra is going to be relentless this year in everything that we do. So I love that you said that.
Okay.
All right, the next one. This one's probably going to be a difficult one. You may have to think on this one for a minute as well. But what is the harder job, developing skills or developing self-belief?
100% self-belief. That's not hard. I think we're taught too often to be perfect, or to be humble, or to be or we just get knocked down a lot because like this sport is really hard. The other problem too, I always think, like, at least on our team, on our level, like if someone's not playing or not starting, you start to think you're not that good at softball, and you're forgetting that you're like top 1% of the 1%. And that happened a little bit with me. Like, even when I talk about my career, I'm like I was a role player, whatever. Like, I forget I was pretty good, and we forget that we're really good. And even it doesn't matter the level. If you made it to college softball, like, you're good at softball. And I think we just forget that a little bit. So, everybody works on getting better at softball. Not everybody works as hard at believing in themselves. So
that's true. That's true. And I think it was Montana Fouts who I recently saw on an Instagram reel talking to young softball players and talking about not finding your worth and your value, not defining yourself by your performance. I think it was.
Yeah, her same. Like, I got to watch her go through. I had her for a couple of her years, not all of them, but
yeah.
I think that was a big thing for her. You know, a lot of fame, a lot of accolades, and she was obviously very, very, very good. But like, if she had a bad game, like, that couldn't be all she was. And I think graduating and, you know, moving on to coaching younger girls, like, you just start to get all that now. Like, you see it all now, and you're like, gosh, this is supposed to be fun, you know? And it's not who you are. Exactly.
No. Yeah, it's not. All right, we'll end on this one with your head coach. One lesson from Coach Murphy that's stayed with you.
The sooner you realize it's not all about you, the better off you and everyone around you will be. That was probably it.
That's a great one.
Just like, if you just don't expect good things to happen to you. Like, you give, and then it ends up just bouncing back to you. You find gratitude, you find joy in people and everything, and then you start radiating that, and it just comes back tenfold. Just anything that has to do with gratitude, servant leadership, just I think that's the ultimate way to find happiness, is you just give it away, and then it's amazing how fulfilled you feel.
Yeah, and it comes back tenfold, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an awesome conversation, Ryan Iamurri. Iamurri, sorry. I knew I was going to do that at some point. Iamurri here with us on the Assistant Coaches Lounge. She is the Player Development Coordinator for the University of Alabama softball program. Ryan, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know an hour and a half is a long time to sit and endure talking to me for a long time, but I appreciate you fixing your computer, plugging it in so it doesn't die.
I got a new computer for this. All for this.
Just for this, yeah. You probably wouldn't have used it for anything else.
No, not scouting at all. Like,
no.
Right after we get off this.
Yeah. I'm probably going to do something similar.
Yes.
Well,
That's
again, I
what.
appreciate the time. Thank you so much for hanging with me and sharing your story. It's been a joy to listen to.
Can I end this a certain way?
You can end it however you want.
Roll Tide.
Okay, well, you can't end it that way. Never mind. Okay, you can. I mean, shoot, I guess you can, but I
Yeah.
know a lot of people in this area, in your area, in mine, will love that. But we're
Yes.
always Roar Lions here.
Yes.
I know there's probably
You
more
can say
Roar
roll lines.
Roar Lions. No, we're not roll. No, we're not rolling lions.
Okay.
I know
I
you're
tried.
trying to combine the two. I see
I
what you
tried.
did
I tried.
there.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us on social media at Chatted Up Sports. You want to listen to this interview and any others that we've done here on the Assistant Coaches Lounge. Again, check out at Chatted Up Sports, Spotify, Apple Music, any of those things, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Again, I'm Greg Larnard. I am the host of the Assistant Coaches Lounge and the UNA softball hitting coach. Until next time, peace and love.